Hello and welcome to this episode of Grace-Filled Plate TV. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what to do when you have a true dietary restriction. So now we're all familiar with the diet, quote unquote, that you may find in the latest and greatest book, magazine, or blog post. But today I'm talking about the diet that your doctor may give you. The diet that you're told is essential in order for you to make progress in your health, to avoid disease and oftentimes death. It's really, really scary to go to a doctor and get a diagnosis that sounds doom and gloom and that you feel responsible for the sort of outcome based on the choices that you've made in your life. Maybe you've been overweight for a while, you haven't really watched your sugar intake, or you're drinking lots of sodas, and you go to the doctor and he tells you that you have the dreaded diabetes. What do you do when he hands you a food list that says you're only supposed to eat this amount of carbs, or you're no longer supposed to eat your favorite ice cream? There's panic and there's freak out. And for some people, it's enough motivation to make those really hard choices. But for others of us, it feels like too much. It's overwhelming. We wave the white flag and we end up doing nothing at all. And today I want to speak to that person, to the woman who's been told that she needs to make changes in her diet for her health, be it avoiding disease, autoimmune problem, or overall just to lose weight, to be a healthier version of herself. To that woman who's trying to do better and yet she's unable to do so. Because you are not alone. These things are really hard to change. And if it weren't so, there wouldn't be an obesity epidemic. There wouldn't be millions of people who are struggling with poor diagnoses and yet continuing to make those less than ideal food choices. So I'm going to share two really important things that have helped me make better choices for my health without feeling like I've been put on a crazy crash diet. Because in my own life, I've had to make some choices that changed sort of what my ideal relationship with food would be. I've had digestive problems in the past and problems with brain function, and that's meant that I need to cut out certain foods in order to feel my best. But if I frame those things as a have to, as something I must do, it's going to be really, really difficult to adhere to them over the long term. All or nothing thinking kicks in, and I'm either all or nothing, often nothing. So what's really important, and this is the first thing that we're going to talk about, it's really important to embrace your freedom of choice when you've been given a dietary restriction. What is the freedom of choice? We talk about it often here, but the freedom of choice is recognizing that you are in fact capable of making any choice that you desire. Even if you're struggling with a bad diagnosis and you know that you're not supposed to eat something in order to regain your health, you still have the option to eat that food. If you're trying to avoid sugar, you can still purchase as many sodas as you want. Now wait, I know you're going like, wait a minute, no, that's not so. I was told I can't have that. Yes, you were told that, but you're still an adult, you still have money, you have a car, you can go buy the things that you want. Give yourself that permission. Recognize that you are the one making the choices. It's not your doctor telling you that you can't have these foods. He's making recommendations, and now it's your decision what you're going to do with them. Embrace that freedom of choice. Now the second one, I'm going to say consult with your doctor first, because this one is telling you to avoid the all or nothing thinking. He's given you a diet plan that says you should eat this and this and this and not eat this, and this, right? This big long list of foods you should not eat. It's really hard to walk out of there and feel any sense of peace about your diet. There is that overwhelming sense that you can no longer eat anything that you want to. So listen for cans, shoulds, shouldn't have, not allowed to. Those are the self-talk indicators that we're getting into that outside of freedom of choice, and that all or nothing thinking is about ready to kick in. But speak to your doctor about what are some small sustainable changes that you can make to get you from point A to point B. Okay, here's where you are. This is your current state of eating. Here's where he wants you to be. What can you do that's going to be effective and yet doable so that you actually complete the changes? What can you do to take a step in the middle, a little bit more, and a little bit more? Now, in the beginning, you may have to make some larger changes than you would be hoping, but knowing that you're the one who's making the call can make them a lot more pleasant to taste, right? It's not all or nothing, and it's not out of your realm of control. You've been given these instructions, but it's ultimately your decision what you decide to do with them. It's your health. Seek God and ask what He would have you to do. Ask for the Holy Spirit to open and close those doors, to give you guidance about your next best steps. In that, you will find clarity about where to go. It won't be so overwhelming or scary, and you'll be knowing that you'll be making one step at a time in the right direction. If you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. What sort of dietary restrictions have you been dealing with, and how are you managing it? And would embracing freedom of choice or nixing the all or nothing thinking help you in any way? All right, signing off. It's great to have you here today. I'll see you soon.